Greetings and blessings, greetings and more blessings coming to you live from Sankofa Divinity. I am Yahshua Elohim, and I am the co founder and the co creator of Sankofa Divinity. Um, I am so grateful to be here. It's another amazing day. Matter of fact, I looked at the weather report and we're going to have rain for the next 4 or 5 days. So, looking forward to that because, whenever there's water, there's cleansing, definitely cleansing, a cleansing process. So, you know, because of the element of water and it's raining, it's going to be raining, or whenever it rains, you can always call forth the frequencies of um, water to help you cleanse or help you deal with whatever you're dealing with. But I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that today. it is what it is what it is. But I wanted to come on, and I hope this thing is recording. Um, but nevertheless, I wanted to come on and do my YouTube today. This is Anubis. He's with me. And Yeah, I'm glad he's with me. But I wanted to come on and talk about connections, you know, and how important and how valuable, meaningful, and authentic connections are to the quality of your life. Now, what brings me to the subject is that, for some reason, yesterday I woke up and I had this. I don't know what it was. It felt like sadness, but there was no need for me to be sad. It was just, I don't know what was going on. But anyway, um, I felt so strongly in this space that, it just brought tears to my eyes. And I decided at that moment that whatever this is, even though I cannot quite identify exactly what it is, I'm going to let it happen and allow it to move through me. I'm not going to try to figure out where it's coming from, if it's my feelings or somebody else's feelings. I'm not going to do that. This time I'm just going to allow the feelings to come, the emotions to come, and the experience of tearing and weeping. I'm just going to allow it to flow through me. And that's what I did. And that's what I did. And it took it was probably every bit of maybe 3 to 5 minutes for the energy to move through me. And then after that, um, I moved about. I carried on with my day. Nevertheless, later on uh, not that day, but the next day. Um, Wait a minute, let me back up. So that day, as I carried on with my day, later on that evening, I decided to call. One of my I'm a call her a friend. She's a dear friend to me. She's also um, a part of the military force and family, if you will. And she reached out to me and she asked me how I was doing, via text. So um, I returned her text with a phone call, and we was talking and carrying on, and and this this is a person that I don't talk to every day. I don't talk to her every week. I may talk to her maybe one time out of the month. But when we do talk, it's almost as if we pick up where we left off, if there was such a place. Because, and I say that because, you know, everything moves in a circle. So it, there is no beginning or end. It's just a continuum of things moving in a cycle, just as, as I expressed about the emotions, and the tearing up and the weapon and how it moved through me. That's the cycle of life. It just moves through you. It moves through you, and it moves through you in circles. And I have to say this, sometimes it feels as if it's moving in a spiral, and then I'll come back down to the base. But I happen to believe that it moves in a circle, and then it begins another circle. And this is how we have the flower of life. But nevertheless, let me carry on. Um, so she and I, we talked for a long time, and the conversation was very meaningful and authentic. She was sharing, I was sharing. It was a conversation of reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? That's a meaningful conversation. Whenever you can sit down and you can talk to someone, and they pour into you just as much as you pour into them, that's what I consider effective communication, because effective and cooperative communication, because both individuals leave the space of that conversation feeling fulfilled. No one leaves empty. No one leaves feeling drained or like someone has taken something from them. No one leaves like that. So she and I, we hung up, and then I called, I call her my mother. Um, but all of my elders are are my mothers at the end of the day. I mean, all of them. But I called my mother, and she is, again, she's another individual. I may speak to her two, maybe three times out of the month, you know. But the point I'm trying to make here is that when you have meaningful, authentic connections with people, and you talk to them, no matter how long you have spoken, you've been apart from that person, and as far as verbal conversation, no matter how long the distance, you always pick up where you left off. And that picking up and leaving off never leaves. It just moves in cycles. It moves in cycles. And I just think that is so, I feel a little hair in my nose. I just feel like that is so important for us to have connections with people who value us and who is worthy of our presence, as well as we value them, and they are worthy of our presence. How do we know that a person is worthy of our presence and that the connection is valuable? Simply because of the law of reciprocity. If a person is not pouring into you as you pour into them, sometimes you have to sit back and wonder, because at some point you're going to figure it out. And when you figure it out, if you don't do anything about it, if you don't make a decision or bring it up in a conversation to where it can be rectified or it can be reconciled to the point where, hey, this, there is reciprocity, what will happen is that you will become resentful of that person. You'll become resentful. And what I find interesting with that is that your resentfulness is you. Because the minute that we become resentful of someone, we automatically assume that it's the other person. No, it's not the other person. Again, it's you. It is I. It is we. It is who we are, who is creating that. And we're creating it because we're not expressing ourselves in the conversation. We're not expressing our thoughts and our feelings. Therefore, the actions to support our thoughts and feelings are not, we're not following through. It's not following through. It's not following through. So if it's not following through, then you know what happens? It's like a pond, it becomes stagnant. The water becomes muddy and dark and ugly and unappealing to the eye. And yeah, you become resentful because that's what will begin to happen between you and this person. It becomes dark, it becomes gloomy, and all of this is coming from you. You're creating all of this, but the good side of it, the good side of it, is that when you're creating these things that are somewhat unfavorable, do not take them as a bad thing or a good thing. Look at them or observe them as a indicator that something needs to be restored, rectified, or reconciled. Hmm? And out of that, there's a transformation. There will be a transformation. And sometimes, the transformation, you'll feel a certain way about the transformation because the person will not be transforming with you. You'll be transforming by yourself. And not only that, the person is not even interested in transforming. And they'll look at you like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, that's when you know that the connections that you may have with a person is no longer valuable nor worthy to be in your presence. Hmm? So, I just, yeah, connections are very important. And it's not about, oh my goodness, I hope this is being recorded because this stuff is so good to me. Um, it's not about being physically present. It's about the bond that is created between you and that person by the in between, the stuff that you cannot see, yet you experience when you do communicate with that person or when you do see them. It's in the in between. It's the, as my teacher has stated before, it's the molecules that are in the in between that is holding the bonding between you and another individual together. And I just think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. um, Before I go, I've decided to read a meditation from The Secrets of Secrets, the your key your key to subconscious power. And this book is by, and I may pronounce his name incorrectly, but it's UL, or it's UL Anderson. S. Anderson, okay? He's also the author of The Three Magic Words, so you can check that book out too. But yeah, I'm going to read this. It's the third meditation that came up for me to read, and then I'm gonna close out this tube and carry on with my day. Okay, so this is the third meditation, and if you happen to have this book, this would be on page 60. Okay. But the third meditation states, all about me, I see the infinite, eternal movement of God in the surge of the sea, the flux of the tides, the precise patterns of heavens. I see the purpose and the presence of the Creator. He knows where he is going. All things past, present, and future are apparent to him. In his infinite wisdom, he sees immediately the thing to be done and the perfect method of doing it. Therefore, I turn over all my actions to him. No longer will I be guided in my daily tasks by the overall by the wait a minute, okay. By the overall no longer will excuse me. Therefore, I turn over all my actions to him. No longer will I be guided into my daily task by the willful prompting of the ego, but instead I turn inward to the very center of my being and listen for the will of God. He is the master and the mover of my works. He is always that is, and I am being of his being. I am the being of his being. Power of his power, conscious only of him. No matter, no more shall I hunger after the fruits of my labor. They belong to God, and I renounce all desire for them. I know that God never blunders, that he never is indifferent, and when it appears that I have failed in some immediate aim, I know it is only to prepare myself in the end for some rarer joy, some truer delight. I open myself to the universal power and joy. I declare there is no limitation, no lack, no malfunction in my life. A perfect power is governing all my affairs, pervading my very body. I identify myself with that which is all powerful and all perfect. I throw off the limitations, hurts, and frustrations of the finite ego. In the depths of my being, I am no longer a name, a past, a place. I am pure spirit, infinite, eternal, all encompassing. That which I truly am, I can never cease to be. I cast aside ego, become one with with my creator, live in the light and love of God. Okay? This right here, only through prayer and fasting can one experience the fullness of their divinity. Only through prayer and fasting and contemplation. Let me not forget that. But this is my end, and I'm going to go ahead and end this clip. And I am so grateful. If you need any of my services, first of all, I am a psychic medium, oracle card reader. Uh, I will leave a description down below so that you can get in contact with me in any kind of way. You can always find me on Facebook. I'm not hidden from you, so you can find me if you need to. Um, Not only that, if you like what I say, just click like. Just because you're watching me now, just click, just say like, and you ain't needing. And if you don't want to, you don't have to subscribe. But I would love for you to subscribe but just hit like, you know. I realized that the other day. I was like, if I'm going to put in the time and the energy just to click on a person, just to watch them, then the least I can do is like. I might not agree with some of the things that they say. I might not even like some of the things that they say, but just because I'm watching, why not? Why not? So I say to you all, be well, stay focused, stay in the light. If you happen to find yourself in darkness, get all the understanding that you can get. Get all the understanding that you can get. Get all the knowledge and the understanding of self that you can get. Okay? Because out of that comes the light. Be well. Shalom. Okay. Well, there you go.